Where is my future? Where is my bright, shiny future? Fresh and new, untainted. High-rise jungle or languid leafy suburb? Fall off my bike on grass or concrete? Strike out alone or join the herd? Be heard, be misheard, be invisible. Battle hard or take the slow train? Easy street or mean? Look over the shoulder and shiver. Stride forward, heading towards goals and dreams. Circle of friends or bullied alone? Broken-hearted or broken home? Work hard, study or laze the days away? Stray, not prepared to accept that I haven't got it all figured out just yet. Where is my predictable future? Same town, same faces, same conflicts, same scars, or different city, different land? Just keep running wild or follow a plan? Can I ever evade myself? Married, kids, business plan, or become a production line robot? Also ran. Never happy with your lot. Lurking in murky waters, hidden behind every unopened door, the question keeps arising: where is my future? Where's the time gone? Where are all the promises, all the bright ideas, the hopes and fears, lofty schemes, protested angrily or just like the sarcastic meme? Where is my future? I can't believe I misplaced it, ignored it, suckered into soft options, never really chased it. How much was mine to choose, or does fate play his hand? Just make excuses. The truth is banned from my thoughts. Never stop to think, eat, laugh, drink, repeat, tread on the lines but can't avoid the quicksand. Where is our future? Here in the shadow of William Golding's spire, or the imagination of Terry Pratchett? Books and words to educate. Action rally, but what's real and what's fake? Where is our future? On this planet or the next? When does that spaceship leave? Can we ever escape a tidal wave of replicating cells, dodging decisions? Amongst the eruptions and lava as another pandemic swells, pride and delusion is not absolution. Where is our future? No time for retribution. With Brexit breathing down our necks, we choke, crumble and fall. Political turmoil, a whirlpool to suck the life out of us all. Where is our future? When the planet can no longer take the strain, acid rain, hurricane, bleak blizzard madness, but we again ignore this imminent pain. Where is our future? Is it too late to decide, to get off this immoral fence and lend a hand? Make a stand, be part of the solution, an evolving revolution, adapt to survive, live our lives. Where is our future? Where is our future? Thank you. This is called Let's Talk About the Weather. Not cloudy with a chance of meatballs, but benign with a hint of beige. Best day in today. 100-year storm, lightning cauterizing the bleeding earth, cannonballs destroying pavements, tsunamis deleting whole islands, tornado springs in Kansas to the land of Oz. Hi, how are you? Dry with a chance of rain later. A light breeze, a little colder than yesterday. It looks brighter at the weekend. Well, it probably won't go out though. Sun searing bricks, crumbling ancient walls, lakes evaporating. People magnified to death in cars. Even Scotland gets a temperature above 20. How are you all? There was a frost this morning. I'm worried about the tomatoes. Do I have tomatoes? Ice sheets slice boats in half. Waterfalls transform into sculptures. Mountains shatter into million shards of granite. England grinds to halt as a solitary flake lands on the ground and stays for a while. So cold. Perhaps I need a new coat and shops too far away. If only you lived nearer, you could take me when the roads are clear. Lava flows relentlessly, disintegrating all before it. Dust plumes shroud our country into darkness, petrified figures frozen in balletic form. Glad you called today. It's warmer. Perhaps I should read a book. Not been in the garden yet. It's not the same on your own. The ground roars, the world shakes, skyscrapers shiver and wither, consumed by a ravenous earth. A single tile fell to the ground in Sheffield. I could go for a walk, but there's this virus thing. My knees are weak, best stay indoors. It's so changeable. Have you got rain? Red sky at night, red sky in the morning. Words of confusion spell out a warning, but wait. Allow a rainbow to pierce the veil of grey. So how are you? Fine. Yes, Mum. I know it's not the same on your own. What? Okay. But let's talk about the weather. Thank you.
Passing storm. Night and day merge to one, and even the merry men are off the drum. An eerie hush rules the streets, and even the thieves fear to meet. The storm is silent, the storm is here, bringing old men to tears. It knocks gently at your door, shaking you to the core. It cares not who lives or dies, nor does it care if you tell lies. It pauses silently at your feet, and your heart will start to weep. Off again the floorboards creak, and worried now, your heart starts to shriek. Has it stayed? Has it gone? 14 days of isolation don't sound like fun. Thank you. Asking for it. The sky was asking for it, dressed as she was. The clashing pinks and blues and yellows were clearly there to draw the eye. So what did you expect? You come here making thunderous noise, wearing lightning at your neck. What did you expect? As time goes by, you start to flush pink. Obviously, you've drunk too much. So clearly you were asking for it. What did you expect? How dare you say I'm responsible for my own actions? You're clearly the one to blame. I will never take responsibility for it because I'm not the one to blame. Thank you. The times we live in. The struggle is real, the struggle is hard. Sometimes it feels like wading through lard. I have to remember, I cannot forget, that I'm not alone in this right old mess. Butterflies flying all around. Some of them even kiss the ground. They swoop through the air and dance with the bees and spare a glance for the trees. They flirt with flowers and even dogs, though they hide from raindrops. They shimmer and sparkle in the sun until the day is done. Makeup. My makeup is smudged, and that's a fact. It's all over my hand and even the cat. I haven't been crying. No, nothing at all. It's just I feel like I'm 10 feet tall. Mate. Field of green, skies of blue. No one around except me and you. Keep your distance, mind your step, or you'll get us both in a right old mess. That's it, mate, walk away, and maybe we'll both make it through this day. Thank you.
This one's called Peter Davis, whose bench I found upon a walk. I saw 2 dead butterflies today, splendid, exhausted by yesterday's heat and fallen, given as an offering to the moving sea of golden feathered wheat. I come here to be with you, my countryside. I come here to feel free, with ancient trees and witches, stolen peas, and Nessie on the hill that took me far too long to see. And I know we will again, you and I just be. I lay amongst your dancing hands, made stories in your earthy skin, and sobbed and spun in my own giddy crop circles. The sun, the wind, wrapping me in you, and I'm calling you, evoking you. Come, do please come, with apples you were toasted, summer, sweet and crisp, melting ice, clinking glasses, spilling from lips, to itching grass and earth, a gift, and in winter, a steaming flask, to salute the sisters that you grew for me, to feel, to be. From your bench, I could never figure out how you moved the spire, like the needle of a compass, pointing me in your own direction, and I hopeless in the hands of your spinning clock. I waver in moments, I rock myself into those moments, rejecting the movement of time, just for now, just to be still in this moment dedicated to me. Carried away from London, tightly packed on clattering wheels and steel tracks spreading out, from which unfold a miniature city for me to piece together from its box. From the ground I build a square and a market, paint it with colour and sound, little voices, little figures, fully articulated, the smell of olives, the price of grapes. Here's the church and here's the steeple, I sing as I build the cathedral. The people seem pleased. I brush the grass with my hands. Children skip around them like they're sculptures. I dig the rivers and pour in the water, tilt the city so it flows. Scattering pebbles, my fingers paddle as I wade upstream, dodging fish. The glue is intoxicating, and I'm going wild. A child with a paintbrush, adding trees and fields and dogs and rabbits, weaving through the wheat, fingers running so fast I can't keep up. Thudding, padfoot, ploughing upward, hillside bends, the spire moves. From the outside, my hands are open, far away and looking down. Where my hand has fallen, I touch the earth. It's time to dive in, shrink my size and begin. At the top of the hill, in proportion, I stand, my hand held out against the skyline. It didn't seem so large. It didn't do what it said on the box. So I made it my own. I prefer it when I'm in charge. Garden party. I've been eating ice creams in the hallway, and I dropped one on the floor. I smeared the melting chocolate flake across the kitchen door. I skipped towards the garden and threw one on the lawn. Another hit the garden gnome, who really looked forlorn. I hurled them at the neighbours who were peering over the fence. Mrs. Noggins lobbed a hot cross bun that hit me in the face. That's when I found a Mars bar, slightly melted in my pocket, and launched it like a missile, and it shot off like a rocket. I saw it fly towards the pavement as it sailed over the gate, so I yelled to the pedestrians, "I'm having a summer fete!" A man carrying a briefcase entered with a sausage roll, and a young girl kicked a sponge cake, and her mother shouted, "Goal!" The postman left his letters and chucked apples in the pond, and then suddenly came my grandmother with pink jelly and blancmange. The gloop was in the bird bath, and everybody's hair. The perfect time for biscuits to come flying through the air. They came in like ninja stars from a young boy on a bike. One hit me directly on the throat, which I really didn't like. Time to up my game, I thought, so I fetched the lemonade. I'd sprayed some at the party guests and used the bottle as a grenade. Time to get the kettle, for the British love their tea. Soggy tea bags hit the gardener and the teapot hit the tree. Another neighbour had a trifle, custard, strawberries and cream. They were pelted at the paper boy. He was clearly on my team. We stood together back to back with squirty cream like guns and shot everyone in the garden while Grandpa pelted us with plums. Then he suggested French baguettes. We could arm ourselves with swords, flinging them each every way. Tally-ho, we roared. I didn't see the policeman, but I hit him with the breadstick. There were crumbs all down his hat and face. He didn't look ecstatic. Offering him a piece of quiche, I tried to look a little tarty, but with hello, 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 he crashed my garden party. I tried to bribe him with a donut, but sadly, to no avail. My hands were cuffed and red with jam as he took me off to jail. I don't think I'll have one next year. I think I overate. It really is too much effort to host a summer fete. Thank you.
Black Friday. Come, shouted Amazon the shepherd to his flock of sheep, 2 by 2 by 4 by 8. Congregate, mate to mate, may your ankles grate together in the cattle gate shape of a consumer estate. Let eBay the collie round you up, tie you in price tags and badges emblazoned with buy one get one free. Which way are you all heading, this mindless mainstream wave of lemmings, herded to the mountain ledge, your Nike Airs and high tops outlining the stony edge? As 2 by 2 by 2, just like Noah's Ark, you dive face first into the sea of endless dark black ink, to a realm where you are controlled not to think for yourselves other than how your living room needs some new shiny IKEA shelves. Blind your pupils with box sets of Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. Snatch and grab the most modern of iPhones. Track it with the aerial view of those supposedly cool and completely expensive drones. Bend and snap your backbones to pile your basket with bestsellers from Waterstones. All these raging hormones from brains frying, withering and dying, tantrums and crying from impulse buying stemmed from commercializing. Is this really satisfying? With Christmas round the corner, waiting in the wings, do we really need all these things? Swim up to the surface of the Black Friday sea and don't spend your money, spend your time with you and me and friends and family. Once upon a time when everything is fine and days are filled with pillowcase fails, houses in trees and friends over for tea, fish fingers and baked beans stuck in the mud and kiss chase, sticking tattoos on my face, school discos with bubble machines, trainers with flashing lights on our feet and singing about how to get to Sesame Street. The world is a fantastic place to be. Once upon a time when everything seems fine and days are filled with rolled up kilts, coursework for GCSEs, cider drank during the lost paths of D of E, working out how to kiss from words written in magazines, Bowlplex birthdays and films rented from Blockbuster, electric blue streaks of hair mascara, those yellow Livestrong Nike wristbands, and being in a relationship because you held a boy's hand. The world is an exciting place to be. Once upon a time when everything is entertaining to be fine and days are filled with duvets stuffed into cars, sticky feet in student bars, late nights in the library fueled with cocktails of Red Bull and coffee, day-glow raves and superhero dress-ups, rushing to lectures or just not bothering to turn up, drinking vodka shots and Alco Pops, making friends for life through those drunken flatmate hookups. The world is what it should be. Once upon a time when everything is trying to be fine and days are filled with train commutes and paychecks, doing things I might later regret, moving to the big smoke with all those city folks, slickly dressed in expensive suits, yet I'm always feeling broke. The Metro paper showing another political protest and tubes jammed, packed with bodies, after-work drinks and over-friendly colleagues, 24-hour chemists for emergency pregnancy tests. The world is a troubling place to be. Once upon a time when everything is definitely not fine and the days are filled with counting coins to pay rent, faking it at every social event, blurring the lines of advice and consent, insomniac descent and unemployed and going out with men who act like boys. As the years sneak by faster and faster, I debate whether to be a YouTuber or a podcaster. Facebook posts of weddings are spreading like cancer. I blow out my birthday candles wishing to find an answer as to why the world is yet to give me my happily ever after. I don't understand what we're doing, what we're saying, why we're even bothering to try. We live in different cities, distant lives, abstracted ends of the train lines. Is there even anything here to solidify? The endless WhatsApp messages of days we may or may not be free, tedious and taxing, lacking any of that romantic spontaneity. When we first met, was there even electricity? Or was it all because between the two of us we drank a bottle of Tanqueray? Is this worth the pounds we spend on South Western Railway? And now I'm not working, it's been 2 months since my last payday. We don't kiss when we meet, we do that awkward hug, as if one of us is just getting over the latest flu bug. Everything is meh, I say as my shoulders shrug. You seem perfectly lovely and genuine and kind, but with such infrequent fleeting meetings, I can't stomach this much small talk, even if it does come with wine. Conversation skirting tiny inklings of possible flirting, words skip and trip, chit and chatters. We never actually discuss anything that matters. Yes, there aren't any long pauses of silence, but there are also not any frantic and ecstatic finishing sentences just so I can kiss you excitement. Where does that leave me? If there isn't this for me to grab onto, then what is there in Salisbury? I'm on Plenty of Fish, and I seem to have been with everybody that drinks in the Market Inn, but none of those men are the ones for Miss Jones. I'm always going home alone, and I sleep in a fetal position because I'm so cold. No man to be the big spoon, to take his body and give me a protective hold. There are only ever first dates, sometimes a second, never a third. That would be far too absurd. I've got to 30 and the only answer is that I'm continuously cursed. I'm sick of seeing wedding photos on Facebook and honeymoon shots and baby scans clogging the squares of Instagram. My wrists are slit with social media scars, and for me this isn't happening. All I can do is wait and sit and watch for the sky to get dark when I lean out the window holding my whiskey and smoking my cigar, trying to stay hidden from my flat smoke alarm. I look out into this midnight city, hoping that there might be someone out there for me, but acknowledging that might not be a possibility. Maybe I will always be one of the world's waif and strays, a bohemian insomniac artist who will remain a loner, and I'll never have the security of being a property owner, and I will never sleep as all these thoughts roll over and over, and then it's 3 a.m. and I'm looking at fertility clinics in Wiltshire who offer the services for women like me to use a sperm donor. Thanks.
My boyfriend dumped me last week, and it was very sudden and quite raw, and I didn't get any closure on it, so I decided I'm going to write him a poem. I'm going to send it to him and let him know how much he broke my heart, So this is a raw exposure of our relationship, and this is called I'm Not Being Funny, but subtitled, You Stupid Idiot! Your breath can kill a horse at 100 paces, and your jokes can wipe the smile off a room full of faces. You're pretty as a picture before it's been painted. When your mother gave birth, I'm told she fainted. Your BO would put Tutankhamun's armpits to shame when you begin to sing. Guaranteed to rain. To be blunt, what I think of you, not a lot. You're as sensible as a chocolate teapot. You're as popular as a bacon butty in a kibbutz. To put it plainly, what I think of you, not much. You're as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike, as a pair of soulless walking boots on a 10-mile hike. Your personality requested a transplant. What to get away from you? Being brutally honest, most people usually do too, because you're as irritated as a spot, too sore to squeeze, as refreshing as a fart carried on a breeze, and your social interaction is as flat as a kipper's. And when you do get excitable, you end up looking silly. As interesting as a sherbet lemon with the sherbet all sucked out. As alluring as a 5-day-old unrefrigerated trout mate, you are nothing to write home about. Thank you.
This is called Esther. I went to school with this girl. She was called Esther. God, she preached about everything. We called her Esther the Protester. An angry young woman was she, banging on about racism and vivisection, police brutality. I mean, who wants to know about that kind of thing? When there's pop bands and lads having a quick fling. A fumble behind the youth club now, that was interesting. Esther the Protester, God, didn't she go on? Raging about homelessness and fascism, banning the bomb. Hey, I remember this one day, she stood up in assembly. She said, there's a demonstration going on in London at Wembley this Saturday. I said, well, what's it about? She said, violence against women. I said, oh, well, you can count me out, because me and my boyfriend, we're going swimming. And she said to me, where's your sense of values? I said, at home. On my dressing table in a jewellery case. She said, well, what about environmental issues? I said, there behind my makeup bag next to a box of dish shoes, you daft bat. She didn't like that. That made her angry. She called me a child of Thatcherism. I said, you're bonkers you are. You'll end up in prison. Later on, in the dining room, she came over. She said, do you know how many whales the Japanese slaughter every day? I said, oh, wait, I'm having my dinner, go away. But she wouldn't. She said, do you use a roll-on or an aerosol spray? I said, look, what is it to you? Just leave me alone. She said, no, you're destroying the layers of the ozone. Well, I'd had enough. I said, why don't you just off home? Then at break time, she walks over. She said, I suppose you'd enjoy hunting a fox. I said, well, not on a Thursday, because I'd miss Top of the Pops. Then at home time, she shouts out to me, when you leave school, you should join the army, yeah? See the next world. I said, look, love, I know you're ugly. Try and do something with yourself, yeah? Wear some makeup, get your hair curled, you look a right bag of rags. In the end, she left our school and moved away. Her and a funny mother. I'm sure she was gay. They went to live outside that Greenham Common. If you ask me, they both had a big problem. I think she made half of it up anyway. I mean, those things didn't really go on, did they? Because look, it's the year 2020 and we're all nearly still here. The world hasn't been blown up and I don't know anyone who's bashed her queer. Poor misguided Esther. She couldn't have got it wronger, could she? Because in this day and age, especially, those problems, they don't exist any longer. Do they? Thank you.